Is network school worth $1,500 a month? If you're watching this, you've probably already heard about this place. The mysterious island city, the billionaires experience, the place attracting some of the most interesting people on the planet. AI builders, Web3 founders, investors, creators. And in this video, I'm going to give you the honest answer. But I'm also going to reframe the question entirely, because I think most people are asking it wrong. But before we get into whether it's worth it or not, you have to understand the vision, because this place doesn't make sense without it. Balaji Srinivasan is one of the most forward-thinking technologists alive right now. He was general partner at A16Z, which is arguably the most powerful venture capital firm in Silicon Valley. He then went on to become the CTO of Coinbase and was part of the team behind USDC, which is now one of the largest stablecoins on earth, with the market cap sitting around 87 billion or so. But what really defines Balaji is his thinking. In 2022, he published a book called The Network State, and the core idea is this: throughout the history, countries formed around geography. You were born somewhere, and that defined your community, your laws, and basically your opportunity. And Balaji's thesis is that the internet allows something completely new. You can build a community around a shared vision first, and then give it a physical location, basically a home in the world. So start in the cloud and then download it to the land. And truly is, Network School here in Forest City, Malaysia is the first real world manifestation of that idea. And yes, this place was famously called the Ghost City. It was built to house 700,000 people. That never happened. The towers stood empty for years. And then Balaji and Network School turned it into something else entirely. So is $1,500 a month worth it? Honestly, I think that's the wrong question. The right question is, how do you make it worth 10 times more? Because the people here are. Let's break it down. So what do you actually get for $1,500 a month? Think of the pricing like this. Netflix charges you, I don't know, $20 a month for your subscription. Here, $1,500 or $3,000 if you want a private room, gets you an epic community, living in a hotel looking at the beach, with 3 meals a day, optimized for performance and longevity, a massive gym, 24/7 access, with 3 organized training sessions a day with a proper coach that's actually an ex-military coach, which means if you want accountability for your business, it's built in your lifestyle. You get co-working spaces, chill spaces, event spaces, all included, right? Like the sauna, beach access, the greenery, I'm not even talking about those. The kind of environment that makes you actually want to be present and not to scroll on a couch somewhere, or just, you know, I always use the analogy that from January to March, when it's gray in Europe, I fly out here to greenery and to get this energy when people are kind of like having their drained batteries over there. So that actually boosts your lifestyle 100-fold by itself. But here's what most people actually completely miss when they do the math. And this is the whole thing. The real asset here, and I'm not exaggerating when I say you can have a dinner with a PhD level physician, a 9-figure entrepreneur, and someone who just raised, you know, their Series A, all on the same night, at the same table, without even organizing it or scheduling anything. You got founders looking for co-founders, investors actually scouting, builders looking for customers, people hiring, people launching, people that are brilliant and under the radar and just arrived last week. For me personally, I run a content and creator business, as you probably know if you're checking out my YouTube channel. And if I need a technical setup, for example, I just had OpenClaw set up and my entire Cloud Codebase set up the other day, buy coffee just downstairs at the cafeteria. If I need a design thinking or a designer, I drop it in the group chat, and within the hour, I've got 3 people who has done it before. The speed of execution that this environment gives you is worth more than a monthly fee. And increasingly, I'm actually seeing more and more families, because NS recently built out a daycare center. And when you think about it, if you're planning a family, or you already have one, or you have kids, imagine them growing up surrounded by that level of thinking, ambition, and global perspective. That's a different kind of return on investment you get. And before creating this video, I actually went online to read about Network School and what people are interested in. And one of the questions asked, like, is it a cult? And you know, like, I am super ambitious about the idea. And I was asking myself that, hey, is it a cult? And I wanted to understand what is the difference between a community, a cult, a government, and ideology. And if you actually define what a cult is, because the word gets thrown around very loosely, a cult has specific markers like control, isolation from the outside world, financial exploitation, no ability to freely leave, having a single leader whose word is like law, and no room for, you know, changing that. And the place here, Network School, has none of those things. So you pay a transparent monthly fee. You can leave, you know, tomorrow or today, anytime you want. There's no ideology you're forced to adopt. Actually, it's the exact opposite. Like everybody constantly asks you about your opinion. And people here have wildly different views on, politics, religion, on Balaji even. And disagreement is very, very normal. So not only it's normal, it's actually wanted because that's what sparks great conversations. But what this place actually does have is shared direction. Tech, building, talking about the future, talking about societies, and being super excited on the project that you're working on. And by that logic, every startup, every country, every religion can be called a cult. And basically that word stops meaning anything because it's just being like thrown around so loosely. So what NS actually is, what it actually is for me, is a community with a thesis. And you either resonate with the thesis or you don't, but that's totally okay. But here's what really logged me in. When I went to one of the speeches of Balaji, and he was talking about how, VCs, venture capitals, give money and funds to like startups and companies. Then those companies hire talent, and then the talent uses that money that they receive as a salary to pay rent. So all the real estate owners get that, and all along the government takes the tax cuts basically. And how amazing of a business idea it is that with having a community in a real estate and building an internal economy, so the people actually building things, the founders, the employees, the creators, they work, they produce value, and then the value bleeds out to every direction, like to landlords, to tax authorities, to people who didn't build anything basically. And what I absolutely find genius about the network school concept, it's that NS's model attempts to collapse that cycle. When you pay your monthly fee, you're not just paying for a room, you're actually participating in a local economy that's being built by the people inside it. So the talent stays concentrated in one place, the value recirculates, and as a member, you're part of that upside, not just a passenger that's like being taxed through the whole idea and concept. And that's basically the vision. And whether it fully plays out or not, the direction of that thinking is what, convinced me to set off a permanent base here, because NS is one of my bases. So if I'm here as a builder, it's very inspiring because I can surround myself with a lot of talent. I can actually surround myself with a lot of investors. And if I'm here as an investor, I can find lead flow because people are already building and they're consistently building. Lead flow as an investor, but also lead flow if you're setting up shop on NS, because it is a platform that you can build a business on. So if you're setting up shop on NS, basically what you have is you have 200-300, or as it's growing even more, monthly leads coming in and people that can be interested in your business as well. And since it's a tight community, everybody's interested for the upside, both in your business, but you're also interested in their upside in their business or in their talent. And also recently, NS launched a system where members can invite people into their own like niche or community within the school. And since I work with founders and creators, like content, positioning, digital growth, founder-led marketing, I'm building out like my own ecosystem of people here who are doing that kind of work and who are growing their own brands. So if you use my invite link, it's in the description, ns.com/Roland/invite, I think. You don't just get a free week as your first week, you also get the direct access to me when you arrive, and I help you integrate. I'll introduce you to the right people. I introduce you to the opportunities that I'm also actively and always searching for. And if you're building something that has, content or growth angle to it, we can actually work together. And the cool thing is that the price right now is probably the lowest it's ever going to be, because if you think about it, $1,500 for a place like this that I just explained, it's epic. And the momentum here is real. Like it is, you can actually feel it growing. Like I'm coming from Europe, and right now European economy is like, it's a sinking ship. Like even in the world, you see what's happening with the war and everything, and you look around, like you actually have people everywhere here right now, but it's like a holiday. Usually you don't have this many people, side note, which is even better to lock in. But again, the momentum is real, and the network effect of getting early here, I feel like is also a huge benefit, because when people are still figuring it out and forming the culture, that's the actual opportunity. And to answer the question, I don't think $1,500 is worth it. I think it would be stupid not to be here. because if it aligns with what you're building, this is the place where you want to lock in and actually build the future. If you have any questions about what life here actually is like, drop them in the comments or reach out directly. I answer everything. And if you're already decided, use my link below, ns.com/Roland, to get your free week, and I'll personally help you get settled in here. But if you're just here for the content, then subscribe to my YouTube channel, because I'm going to keep making videos about digital growth, content, creator businesses, and the future of how, we work and how we live, not just at Network School, but as with my creators and founders and partners, and how I'm building the Creators League, because this is just the beginning. I hope to see you here either at Network School, in our community at the Creators League, or anywhere in the world, but definitely in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.